Hi, I'm Danny Chan, and you're listening to the You're Overqualified podcast because this is a friendly reminder that you are for sure overqualified at whatever it is that you're doing. Because if you're listening to this, you are most likely a woman of color, first or second gen, and you are a badass at what it is that you do. And I don't say that lightly. I say it in the sense of you're an eldest daughter. You are the go to for everything at work. You're the executor. You are amazing at covering for everyone. And so when that happens, you have the skill set and expertise to be typically and most likely overqualified at what it is that you do. And sometimes we undervalue ourselves and undercut ourselves. And so I want to remind you, hey, don't do that because you deserve so much more. All right. So a little bit about me in case we haven't met yet. So before, I'm Danny Tan. I'm a leadership coach and the founder of She Belongs Here, an organization that helps women when it comes to really knowing that this is your space. It's your space and you deserve it. And I'm here to resource you when the systems and society don't support us always. And so I help individuals as well as organizations when it comes to that work. And so, into today's episode, I'll be breaking down a couple of things of how potentially you might be stuck, even though you were doing everything right. And I'm sure if you are anyone of anyone that I know, you're probably doing a hell of a lot right. Excuse my French. So, a little bit of background on me before we jump in is I pivoted careers 5 times: PR, sales, merchandising, e-commerce, entrepreneurship, you name it, I've been there. I went and achieved 11 promotions in 11 years. I went from being a sample coordinator making 45K to a VP at a billion-dollar company making $250,000. And I left all that behind to build my business full time because I truly believe that if systems in society do not support us and resource us as women, it's really hard for us to flourish at times. Yes, can we be resilient? Can we push through? 100%. But wouldn't it be so much more amazing if we had the tools and resources to help elevate us where it is that we want to go? And so that's why I did this. I built my business for 2 years while being a VP and then went full time in my business for, I don't know what year it is now, what year we're entering, but it's been some years now. And I absolutely love the work that I do, helping women to achieve what it is they want to achieve, not just for their careers, but for their lives. They dream big, they're ambitious, they're driven, they're motivated, they're hardworking. And what they're noticing is that there are just some blockers coming up, and they're not blockers they created. They're blockers that either society, systems, a manager, a leader, somebody else has put in front of them. And so my job is to resource you with the tools, with the knowledge, with expertise and experience to move that on through. All right. So let's dive into today's episode. So you are someone who probably feels like they're doing everything right because you are. You're doing everything right, but you still feel like you're stuck. And so I want to emphasize why these things can come up. You have probably tried to figure everything out one way or the other, and you feel like you're coming up on empty. And that's the point, is that you can't always see your own blind spots. And this is what I want to break down. So the women that I work with are typically either an individual contributor who wants to be seen as a subject matter expert. So they like doing their own thing, but they want to be seen as an expert at what they do. Or you're trying to get promoted into a people leader, people management role. Maybe it's like the first time for you, or you're just a seasoned leader and you're trying to step up into a higher level of visibility for yourself. And so when any of these paths come my way, a big thing that will come up is what has served you for the time being of what has served you is not serving you in this new thing that you need. And so typically it is a new set of skills need to be developed, a new strategy needs to be developed in order to see where the blind spots are that are keeping you stuck at this current level and not letting you move to the next one. And so what I want you to take away from today is how what you have learned and what you have gathered has gotten you where you are, but you're gonna have to learn something new to get to where you want to go. So let's talk about why. This is the first one I want to say is why doing more is not working. And I did a whole episode on different ways to say no, just because that was a popular thing that was coming up. But doing more is not always working. So my clients come to me and they are the go-to person, the problem solver, the one everyone goes to for fire drills, the executor, the high achiever. And the thing that we actually have to do typically is an audit on what they're actually doing, because doing more actually does not serve you. Once you are getting to a certain level in your career, in your life, that effort is no longer the sole determining factor of you being amazing, right? You can't get stuck in this whole thing of I have to keep doing to be seen, because that's not going to serve you. It truly becomes you need to be more selective with the things that you are focusing on giving energy and time to so you can be recognized for that, right? If you want to be seen as an expert, you can't be doing like the dumpster fire of all the things. You have to be focusing on the tasks and the projects that have you be seen as an expert. And so if you're not sure what that is, like come talk to me and we'll talk about that. But it's not about putting in this effort. It's about being efficient with your time and being able to see that. That way you can show that you're really trying to execute for what it is you're trying to achieve, right? And I will hear it all the different ways, and I've lived and experienced it too, where, well, how do I get seen as this if I have to also do all of this? And there is a way to work that through, I promise. So what I want to talk about, like what is potentially blocking you, what's potentially blocking you, right? That's keeping you stuck, right? And not moving you through. And so here's the biggest thing is that if you are stuck in executing mode and energy and that kind of energy, and you're not being able to be more decisive, use discernment, be able to lead towards what it is you want to do, you start to essentially get seen as the person who, are they ready for the next thing, or are they just good at getting things done, right? Are they just good at being able to get the tasks off their list and finish out projects? You want to make sure that you're going to be able to show by the work that you're working on to people who are either beholden to your promotions, to your leadership, to your management, that you're able to move to the next thing. And so that's something that's really important. Like you don't want to be blocking that by having what's being projected out of you as, oh, I'm the fallback for all problems, versus no, I'm the person who really moves these things forward, these specific things forward. Other thing is, people who are deciding your future, whether it's your manager, your leadership team, if you're like a promotion board, the promotions that are happening, you need to make sure you're having advocates for the right people. And so a lot of the times, what is keeping us stuck is that even though we're doing everything right, only our direct manager knows that we're doing that. Only our direct team knows that we're doing that. And so then we positioned ourselves in a bubble where the people who actually are going to move our promotion forward don't actually know about our work, just our manager does. And here's the thing, your manager is not the sole person that gets you promoted, period. Like, one more for people in the back, your manager is not the sole person that gets you promoted. It's multiple people. Okay. As a former people leader of many, many people, and as a person who's gotten 11 promotions in 11 years, I can tell you that there are multiple players that are part of the game of the promotion process. And so, in order to get the right exposure, visibility, and get it approved, you have to make sure you understand who those people are and that not just your direct manager knows about the work that you're doing. So, this is something else that could be keeping you essentially stuck. And so, if you believe that just by working hard, keeping your head down, getting things done is going to get you noticed, I'm so sorry, but it actually will not. And so I had a client, we were having a call the other day, and she was talking about getting ready for her promotion. And she said, I just don't want it to be that I'm trying to be salesy, or that I'm trying to manipulate, or I'm trying to trick people, or I don't want to be super politicky. No one is saying you ever have to be salesy, that you ever have to like lie or manipulate or trick people. But here is the thing is that if people don't know the work that you do, how can they promote you? Right? If they don't know what it is that you're working on, how can they say, oh, you know what? You are the business case to move you forward. Like, this is the business case to promote this person to help us generate more revenue, increase our go to market speed, be able to hire the right people. They have to understand how it's going to help the business, because here's the thing is that businesses are not built, that's why they're businesses, on just, hey, let me give out more money to people and give them higher paychecks and give them higher titles. It has to serve the business overall. And if you don't like that, then I don't know what to tell you. That's what businesses are about. That's why we work, and that's just how society works. And so then I would say you don't care about getting promoted. That's okay too. This is maybe a very hot take to say, but at the end of the day is, if you're trying to move up in a promotion, it's not about being fake or not being yourself. It's about just talking about the work that you're working on. So if you are uncomfortable talking about what you're working on or figuring out how to frame it, then you're definitely keeping yourself stuck, like, period. And so you're going to have to be able to figure out, one, how to build relationships outside of just your manager. Two, be able to talk about what it is that you're doing so people have an understanding of it, right? And then three, not just taking everything that's coming your way, but using discernment on, like, what is the best thing that's going to position me for my future growth and development, right? And so that's what it's all about. And it's not just about like this idea. I want to be really clear on my philosophy when it comes to our jobs, our careers. I'm not about like chasing to chase to get to the next level, get to the next level, promotion money, promotion money. Like, yes, as somebody who achieved 11 promotions in 11 years, this is what I want to tell you. At one point in my life, that was about security and safety for financial means of somebody who did not grow up in financial security, to develop that for myself. But then there comes to a point where you have abundance, and then you get to choose what you want to do with that abundance. And so my goal for you is, if you are going to work in a system then make that system work for you. Don't let the system work you over. And you are already providing your knowledge, your experience, your expertise, your time to this system and to this organization. So then leverage it the same way it is leveraging you to be able to work on projects that are going to give you better experience and better expertise, gain a title that's going to position you better for future opportunities, leverage negotiating your salary to compound your future wealth. Like that is so much more important. So promotion is not just about like getting a title and getting a pay increase or getting recognition. It is those things, but it's also future proofing yourself to build future wealth, to compound interests, to compound your wealth in general, in order to build your expertise and your knowledge and your experience to then get paid for that. If you ever want to exit and build something for yourself, you've utilized all of those building blocks for you to essentially, if you want to build a business for yourself, you want to become a consultant. I help clients do that all the time. And that's how you can essentially utilize this for yourself too. It's so much more. It's so, so much more. And so if you are getting stuck by these blockers, like that's what we do within coaching. That's why I do this work. It's that you can Google this, you can read articles, you can listen to podcasts, and you can still be stuck because the thing is a lot of the times we're getting stuck in the research mode. Oh, I need more research. I need more information. I need to be sure. Listen, it's not about being sure. It's about taking action, doing something different. And a lot of the times when we're sitting in this research phase of like listening to the podcast episode 500, reading this article, looking at this IG reel that popped up, looking at TikTok, Googling this thing, we're like, okay, like I think these are things I have to do. But the gap is perspective. The gap is that you need somebody who can see the stuff that you can't see, who can build a strategy and do things that are custom to you, custom to the challenges that you're having, custom to your leadership team, custom to your organization. And that's what's so important. And that's what we do inside coaching, because every month that you are at the wrong level or not having the right direct conversation or not building the right kind of influence is just time that you're losing for yourself of what it is that you want and why. Because maybe you're not necessarily resourced with what that is. And so the most expensive thing you can do for yourself is to stay stuck another year at where you are at on your own and doing it alone. All of my clients are so smart, driven, ambitious, high achieving, multiple degrees. Like it's like blows my mind. Like moms, women who take care of everything for their family. Like it just, the list is endless. But the thing is, every single time they come in, they're like, yeah, there is a gap. I don't know. This is like the infamous quote. I don't know what I don't know. And even though they can be the strong performer, have amazing reviews, they get stuck potentially for a year, multiple years, trying to get to that next step because they don't have somebody there who's not their manager, who's not their coworker, who's not their friend, who's not their partner, who's there to say, hey, I have seen this personally, and I've also seen this from all the people that I've coached and mentored. Here are the things that you need. It's based on your specific experience and your challenges, based off your specific manager and leadership, and based off your organization. This is what you need to do in steps 1, 2, 3 to make it happen. So I had a client who came in and she was stuck for 2 years, stuck for 2 years at the same level, trying to get promoted. In the course of literally the first session, we created an action plan of what she needed to do, because the thing that we found out was that there was actually 3 people who needed to get her promotion moved. And she didn't know that. She thought it was just her manager. We identified outside of that, there are actually 3 other VP level decision makers who have to know about her work to move it through. So she really didn't have a relationship with them. They didn't know her. So the next thing we had to do was, in order for her to, 1, have clarity on how to build relationships with those VPs, 2, what projects potentially she wanted to partner on, and then start to find some new, essentially senior advocates so that promotion conversation, once it gets started, it was going to be able to move forward. Listen, within 4 sessions, she had her manager, not just any manager, her brand new manager, on board with her promotion, cleared out plan, laid out. She had her manager's manager on board with her promotion timeline and track. And then she had met with the leaders that she needed to meet with and talked about the projects that she's working on to collaborate on. And she went from thinking that she wasn't going to get promoted for another year to getting promoted within 6 months. So it's not because, we have like the magic key here, but a lot of the times it's that we're looking at generic information that's out there to help our specific situation, but that's not how it works. And that's not what moves you forward. And that's why coaching is so important. And so for her, it's going to be more than finally being valued. Like, here are the benefits. Besides her being valued for the work that she's been doing, she's gained the skill of understanding how to advocate for herself, how to speak to what it is that she wants, even if that feels uncomfortable, how to be able to understand what projects are really going to move her forward and what projects to say no to. She's understanding now how to be able to build intentional relationships with the right people and to work on projects that are give her the right visibility to move her forward, right? She's understanding how to develop relationships and how to network and how to build that out and how to talk about her work. And all of those things transcend so much more than this one promotion. Those are things that are going to help her for a lifetime when it comes to speaking to her value, whenever she has an interview for a new job in the future, when it comes to when she's doing presentations and speaking, when it comes to when she's meeting new people, when it comes to if she wants to be an expert on a panel, on a stage. And present, if it comes to if she wants to build her own business and become a consultant, there's so many different ways that she's going to build her future wealth, her expertise, and essentially her exit if she ever wants to do things on her own. And so that's why you're going to be stuck if you don't have that outside perspective to really customize and think about it. I have clients who come to me, they have therapists, they got their bestie, they have their mentor. But the thing is, though, is that your therapist, as somebody who's has many friends who are therapists turned coaches, your therapist is going to help you identify like what happened in the past and how that's showing up right now. Your coach is going to tell you what's showing up right now and how to take action and change it for your future. And so, yeah, if you want it to be your support team, have both work together, but know that you will need the action plan to figure out how to change the patterns for future you. That's the difference, right? And then, even if it's someone who has the mentor, I have someone who has an amazing mentor that she's always talking about, but that mentor is there for the coffee chat, right? I'm going to be here with you through the thick of it, going back and forth to make sure you have that support. So, what it looks like to work together is like super simple. You go into the call show notes right now in this podcast episode and you click on the book a discovery call link. When you click on that link, it's going to have an intake form. In there, you're going to fill out what it is you want to achieve or you're kind of stuck, answer some questions. You book a call with me and it's 60 minutes. In the course of 60 minutes is what we're doing. The first 30 minutes, I'm asking you questions to have a better understanding of like, okay, where are you kind of stuck? What do you want to achieve? What have you tried before? What are your goals? And then I'm giving you a custom plan that's going to speak to you as an individual, what's going to help support you specifically, what's going to help based off your leadership team and management, what's going to help based off of your organization to really move you forward, right? We're looking at the big picture holistically. And then we talk about if it's a fit to work together, right? Like we want to make sure, does it make sense to work together? Once you enroll in coaching, you get a welcome email with an onboarding intake form where you fill out what is your learning style, what are your preferences to be supported, all of that good stuff. And then we go into coaching. Coaching is typically for 3 or 6 months time period. My clients stay on for a good amount of time. I've had clients for 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, you name it. I have an extremely high retention rate, not because my clients don't achieve what they want to achieve, but they crush what they want to achieve and they have the next goal ready to go. And then we're ready to do it together. And so just know that I'm here for you for all seasons of life, essentially. But once you do enroll, you get access to Slack. So if you've used Slack, amazing. If you haven't, it's just like text messaging or WhatsApp or, Microsoft Teams. You have me on retainer for the whole time we're together. So you can send me voice notes, text messages, documents to review. You can send me links to things and you have me in there Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 business days. I typically reply and that will help really accelerate what it is that you do. Outside of that, we have biweekly calls every other week. We're typically meeting for 45 to 60 minutes, tackling what it is you want to do. On that first call, I'm taking your intake form in our first conversation to create that specialized coaching plan just for you. And after every single call, there are always notes and action items and takeaways for you to do. This is very action oriented coaching. It is not like just the feels. My clients tell me I am the mix of facts and feelings. I keep the receipts. And so I'll always make sure that you're moving forward. And if you're not, I'm going to be able to hold up that mirror and say, like, hey, this is what's essentially blocking us and work through it together. And so know that my goal is to help you be successful in all ways, not just in work, but in life. And so if this is something for you and you realize that you've been kind of stuck and it's been feeling the same, then it's time to do something different, right? Because doing the same thing does not move you forward. And so the first thing I would say is book a call and let's meet. Like, let's meet and say hello and let's talk about what it is that you want to do. Like right now, for example, we're in summer and you would think, oh, it's summer. But no, I have clients booking like crazy. I've had 3 brand new clients start just this week. One who's working on her promotion, another one working on her performance review that's coming up for next week with her boss. I have another one that's working on her performance review as well as building her speaking and consulting business. So I have clients that are coming in. I have 2 new potential clients that I have calls with on Friday this week who are looking to also come in and talk about their promotions. So I'm just saying to you, like, don't sleep on this. It's just amazing work that we get to do together and we get to work together for such a long time. It's awesome. I always say, once you are my client, you're my client for life. I've had clients for 3, 4 years, you name it. All right. Hopefully you found this helpful and go into the show notes and book a call and I will talk to you very soon.